So this trade deadline this year has a lot of potential to make last year's Devin Williams trade, last offseason's Devin Williams trade by the Yankees look a lot worse. And it's already a trade that hasn't fared great in hindsight with the success of Caleb Durbin on the Brewers this year, the Yankees' infield struggles, and Devin Williams' relative struggle. I still think Devin Williams is a very special reliever. I still think he has the potential to be a great closer, a World Series championship closer, actually. So don't take this as a Devin Williams hate video at all. I would much more like to question giving up Caleb Durbin in that deal. I think that it's probably a player that the Brewers asked for. Caleb Durbin has been a guy that a lot of people have had their eye on as a contact-hitting middle infield prospect for a long time, especially Yankee fans. I remember when the Yankees signed DJ LeMahieu to that extension, that was one of my main questions. Don't we have Caleb Durbin coming up through the system? Why do we need to recommit ourselves to a middle infielder? And now, as a Yankee fan, you've got the struggles of Anthony Volpe. You've got the cutting of DJ LeMahieu. And of course, you have Gleyber Torres being in Detroit, which is something that I think a lot of Yankee fans don't talk about. I think a lot of people sort of saw the Yankees' time with Gleyber as having run its course. But seeing him on another competitive team in the American League and a team that I think is a very good threat to the Yankees, I think a team that most Yankee fans think would beat us in a playoff series, hurts. And for the record, I think the Brewers would have a very good chance against us in a playoff series too. And the Brewers have every right with the work they've done, the promotion of Mizorowski, the promotion and success of Jackson Chourio, Christian Yelich refinding his form, and one of the best pitching rotations in the entire league. I mean, Jacob Mizorowski, Quinn Priester, and then you're just forgetting about Freddie Peralta, how underrated he is, how good he is. A bullpen that's going to get additions. They're a really good candidate to trade for Eugenio Suarez at the deadline, which is the number one player that I see Yankee fans talking about. And I've always been very hesitant on that trade because he's so clearly the number one guy. He's being really clearly and definitively linked with the Yankees in the media, and I feel like the Yankees quite often don't get that guy at the deadline. And that when a player is sort of talked about with that correlation to the Yankees, it's more of just a signal beacon for other teams to try to trade for him. It's almost like these other teams around the league use the Yankees to start bidding wars amongst other teams. They say, hey, the Yankees want this guy, come give us something else. And the thing that made me initially think of this video was that I was in OOTP playing as the Diamondbacks, trying to see what the Diamondbacks could get if they traded Suarez. And one of the notable trades that I saw was that the Brewers offered Caleb Durbin. And I just said, oh man, how that would hurt as a Yankee fan. How it would hurt to see a player that we could have kept, that we gave up for Devin Williams, who we could have traded instead for the third base help we so desperately need. But should it not hurt Yankee fans even worse if the Brewers don't even have to give up Caleb Durbin? Imagine if they get to keep Caleb Durbin. Imagine if one of the players in a trade for Suarez is Anthony Seigler. Remember him? Yankees first-round pick from 2018, I believe, who I was very excited about, switch-hitting catcher. The Yankees released him from Double-A. He was hitting .234 in Somerset last year, and the Yankees released him. He signs with the Brewers, 277, 416, 465 slash line in AAA Nashville, and he's brought up to the Brewers, where he's now on the Major League team and has had a small sample size of Major League games, suspiciously close to the trade deadline. It almost seems like the Brewers bought low on Anthony Seigler and are now trying to sell a little higher. Something that the Yankees had potential to do if they would have just kept him. He improved his slash line 2023 in Double-A, 166, 333, and a 263 slug, to 234, 350, 398 in 2024 in Double-A. He made a significant improvement year on year, and the Yankees let go of him anyway. So if either of these players are involved in a trade for Eugenio Suarez, Yankee fans have very good reason to see red here. And it's another very subtle, very small move by Brian Cashman that the Yankees internally will probably just try to spin as a positive. Look at how great we are at developing major league talent for other teams. You can't say we don't develop hitting well. You can't say we don't develop offense well. And then you've got Anthony Volpe out there proving that no, we don't develop offense well, because part of developing offense well is knowing who to keep and who to get rid of. And I'm not even in the you should get rid of Volpe camp. I would understand it if they traded Volpe. I'm in the send Anthony Volpe down to AAA camp. I'm in the shortstop is something they should be looking for camp. But right now, I don't even know what this Yankees infield is. And you're going to be looking across in the National League at a team in Milwaukee of Caleb Durbin, Bryce Turang, and Eugenio Suarez. When we've got a 37 Paul Goldschmidt, Yorbit Vivas, Anthony Volpe, and thank goodness for Jazz Chisholm Jr., who's been playing fantastic recently, is a consummate professional, locked in. Man, if it weren't for Jazz on this team, I don't know. I don't know. I think in a way, Jazz Chisholm is maybe the only thing that separates this team from that immensely frustrating 2023 group that we all suffered through. And he's certainly the bright spot in what's been a very, very, very troubling infield situation for the Yankees, that I honestly have very, very little faith will actually be resolved at this year's deadline. And I think Yankee fans would do well to tamper their expectations, and it's part of why I've been so open-minded to a trade for somebody like Brian Hayes. Although, like I said previously, I would rather the Yankees go after Moncada and get a little more offensive. But doesn't the Devin Williams trade look a little worse in hindsight if the Yankees go after relief pitching at the deadline here? Especially if it's the biggest move they make, when you have such a desperate needed infield. Imagine if we go after Yohan Duran. Imagine if we go after Emmanuel Clase. Those would all be great things, right? Yankee fans should be celebrating if we get those big blockbuster deals done, right? No, because we already went after Devin Williams. We already spent Caleb Durbin, a guy who should be playing infield for us right now, on Devin Williams. And I think that logic actually is more likely to stop Cashman from going after a big relief option. Because honestly, it is debatable to begin with. It's a secondary need relative to the infield. But man, infield like the Yankees need is going to be hard to get. Because realistically, if the Yankees were honest with themselves, if the Yankees were really still a championship level organization, it wouldn't just be third base they'd be trying to fill. It'd be third base and shortstop.